Hello everybody, this is Gregory with How I Lost Over 100 Pounds and I've kept it off for 30 plus years. But there should be no hesitancy in your weight loss and weight maintenance. Today we're going to talk about motivation. Motivation. Now before we begin, if you need help motivating yourself, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. I have very reasonable rates. Also check out my website, Naturopath Coach, which has 600 articles and recipes that might be useful. Check out my books, my podcast, The Awakened Man, and if you really appreciate my content, there's a link for PayPal for a small donation. Motivation. So we know, and we've kind of established early in this channel, that 90% of weight loss is psychological. We know part of that, I would say a large part of that, is purging your childhood demons and trauma that led you to have a disordered relationship with food and alcohol. But it's all psychological. You know, this idea, especially that's always been kind of perpetuated by middle-aged women who say that, I'm overweight because I have a glandular problem, is not true. Yeah, surely, your thyroid can slow down. The thyroid is the organ that's responsible for metabolism. Can slow down as you get older. We do know that. We have an episode here how you're supposed to adjust to that. You can't be eating like you were at 90 like you were at 25. You just simply can't. You do have to lower your caloric intake. And there's an old saying, like, why don't you see a lot of fat 85-year-olds? Because they're dead. Right? They're dead. So motivation is important. And the number one episode I did, the first episode I ever did here, aside from the introduction one, was the number one thing you must do for weight loss and weight maintenance. And that's part of the foundational playlist here. And it's changing your paradigm. You gotta change your paradigm. So whatever you were doing before clearly wasn't working because either you haven't lost the weight or you've gone fatter. So whatever system of eating, whatever system of exercise or lack of exercise, your sleep routine, your stress routine wasn't clearly working. So you need to fundamentally change your paradigm. Part of that is motivation. See, I don't have a problem with workout motivation simply because of the way I'm wired. And it's been a long time. If you go to Confessions of an Obese Child, episode 20, How I Lost My Weight, I'm pretty honest in that episode. This was 1989, right? So I don't remember like the day in, day out specifics of how I lost my weight. I do remember working out more, getting on the old Stairmasters that had the black little pedals and had the metal rubber around the outside. I would just hold on and just move my legs. I was so fat because I couldn't do it alone. But I do remember, I think because the weight started to come off, that I had a motivation. I think it was just built in me at that point to always work out. And certainly, I talk about in the early episodes of Reflections of a Weight Loss Warrior, my early years post-weight loss, like in college in my 20s, I was petrified to gain the weight, and I think that was a motivation. But I think the motivation to work out every day was pretty much there. And I do talk about in the episode, am I or was I an exercise addict? And I think with age, and I'm 48 now, I don't feel the need to work out every day, but I will say that on days where I don't work out, I feel a little unease. Partly because I'm not on psychiatric drugs. And exercise, even if it's a light 20-minute elliptical workout, I like to sweat. I like getting those toxins out of my body. And I like the endorphins that are released from working out. And I just feel like, okay, check mark off the day of something that I've done. And I also know that Rome wasn't built in a day, and you got to make your bed, and it's the little things throughout the day, throughout the week that add up to big things. I look at YouTube content creation, for example. I mean, there's people who are like, I want to create a channel, and then maybe they say they're going to get to it, but they have paralysis by perfection, and maybe they try one episode, I don't like the way I look or the way I sound, and then eventually, lack of motivation, they stop doing it. You just got to crank these videos out to build the catalog. Netflix wouldn't be Netflix today if it had 2 shows. So you have to have that motivation. So I've had that motivation to work out every day, which I do. I pretty much work out every day. And sometimes the workouts aren't that good, sometimes they're great, but you know what? It's the little things you do every day. Going back to YouTube content creation, if it's January 1st and I have to tell myself I have to do 365 videos or come up with 365 topics in the next calendar year, a lot of people will be like, that's too much. I don't think of it that way. I just think I wake up in the morning, like Kesha's old TikTok song. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, well, I gotta do a video a day. If I do a video a day, you blink and then you come up with 365. So it's kind of the same thing. When you wake up, I got to work out. So whether it be a morning walk, an evening walk, a legitimate run or a row or strength training or yoga or whatever it is, get it done. Find time. When we say we don't have time to work out, what we're really saying is it's not a priority. Because sometime in that day, you'll find time to sit and watch TV or be on social media or do something else that's leisure. So it's a misallocation, I would say, or misprioritization of... Oh, sorry about that. I didn't have my microphone up here. It's a misprioritization of your time and what you should be doing. Hopefully the audio is good enough there. So motivation's key. So how do you get motivated? Well, I mean, look, there's very low-level Maslowian hierarchy of needs. If you kind of level, you think of animals, what motivates them? Food, thirst, hunger, fear, fight or flight response. Oh, this predator's coming. Oh, that'll motivate me to run. So we kind of have that low-level animalistic primordial kind of motivation. I think the biggest motivation should be, I want my life to change. So if you make an acknowledgement that I don't like my life the way it is now, then you have two steps, two roads. One could be like, yeah, I don't like it now, but I'm just going to keep eating Hot Pockets and playing video games, and then complain about how women don't like me or men don't like me or how clothes don't fit. That's the loser mentality. Or you could be like, I don't like my life, and I'm going to fundamentally change my paradigm, change my life, and find the motivation. Because everything that's worth something in your life, you have to work for, right? This idea, like it's like an involuntary celibate idea. I really want a boyfriend, and then you expect the boyfriend to knock on the door, and it's Chris Evans or whatever. It doesn't work like that. Everything that you have, your home, your career, your family, anything that you have, any accomplishment you've made, whether it be in sports when you were younger or at work, took some modicum of work, took some modicum of discipline for you to accomplish that. So yes, weight loss is hard. I have a video on that I did like a week ago. It is hard. And you got to find the motivation, because if you're not motivated, you're not going to do it. So only you can find that motivation inside you, that inner drive. And once you tap into it, I think you won't lose it. It's hard to lose it. And look, I talk about in the reflection series, I had weight up and down I had 3 weight gains in the last 30 years, but I lost it again. And I don't think, it's 2022. I got 8 years to keep my weight off in the 2020s. How am I going to do that every day? No, it's just day in, day out, little things that you do that when you wake up in a month, in a week, in a year, like when I have my anniversaries, I celebrate my weight loss every May 4th. That rolls around, it's like, it's been another year, because it's the little things that you do, the little choices that you make, whether it be on food choices or sleep choices or stress choices or workout choices. It's the little things you do. And that's what reinforces it, because you feel good that you made these good choices. So I don't always like taking morning walks when it's 38 degrees and I'm freezing my butt off. Or vice versa, it's the summer and I'm getting sweaty at 5 o'clock because it's 102. Or maybe I don't like, running when I'm dehydrated and it's 5 in the morning, but I do it because I know it's the little things that keep the weight off. And so in closing, motivation, find it, it's worth it. Trust me, I've kept the weight off. My life is better now than when I was overweight. And that's the motivation you need to have. You realize, I want this goal. I'm going to work on it. You might stumble. That's okay. But if you identify something as, I want this goal, whether it be a new girlfriend, a new house, or whatever, you're like, I want it, but that's a loser mentality, and you're better than that. So work towards your goal. Find the motivation. Guys, post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Hit the notification, subscribe, and share button. Until next time, take care. God bless and pray.